This is Dave from UltraMegaDeathRay.com here with Ross.
What's up?
And Quan.
Hello, hello.
So we're going to be going over a whole new slew of topics here, starting off with an X-Force movie that's apparently being made. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big X-Force fan. I at least like certain runs of it anyway that are really good in my opinion. I don't know if you guys read any comics at all or.
We've already had, since we found out about this, we've already had about a 2-hour discussion on all this already. Quan and I have at least.
God.
This is actually a really cool thing. This could be something really awesome. You know?
I don't know where to begin, really.
Well, see, I do. I know exactly where to begin. Okay. So, the first thing that we need to consider with this is this X-Force property, okay? Is this something new coming out of the Days of Future Past storyline? So let's say, for instance, the Days of Future Past storyline is maybe hypothetically, this would be the smart thing to do if you were Fox, is reboot the entire X-Men franchise with Days of Future Past leading into an X-Force movie. Because now you have a whole new realm of options that you can do and play with.
Yeah.
You know, you've got all these really cool things now that you can bring up because it's not set in this one X-Men continuity line.
Yeah.
So, in saying that, which X-Force team do we want to see on screen?
Apparently, it's going to be more of I guess a modernized team, or at least maybe a kind of combination of old and new teams. Because Rob Liefeld actually took to Twitter and basically confirmed that both Deadpool and Cable are going to be in the X-Force movie, which I'm personally excited for because I love them both. So yeah,
that is fantastic.
And with that said, as far as new and old teams, because I know that you haven't exactly caught up.
No, I know all about the old team, but nothing about none of the newer stuff.
Knowing that, if you've read any of the newer X-Force stuff, knowing how that even begins and how it plays out and stuff they do, and it's kind of just okay, one, if they make an X-Force movie with the style of how the newer team does stuff, it will be a rated R movie, hands down. It has to be.
The fact that the fact that you have Deadpool in the movie, you kind of have to make a rated R movie just for him alone.
Right. Yeah. And it's
and Cable is right up there too in some respects.
And,
there's no doubt.
Yeah.
And see, that kind of begs the question too. It's just Cable and Deadpool, they're heavy hitters. Those are heavy Marvel characters. You can't go soft. If you're gonna do Cable and Deadpool, go hard. Make a pretty.
Well, who would you pick then? Because you're gonna need 5.
Liefeld said himself that that Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool without a doubt. So it seems like he would be on board with that, considering that he already played as the character in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Well, and they've been trying to get that movie off the ground for quite some time. This may be the vehicle to get that movie finally done.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too.
I mean, after 3 kind of bumped movies. And then Wolverine not saving the X-Men franchise really, because it just they need to start over.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, they've run some of the stories. They can't even do certain stories anymore. They've deleted more of their options.
Yeah, you really can't do the Dark Phoenix story again. Otherwise, people are gonna get kind of pissed. I would guess, unless you did it some way that was something else.
And they killed. I mean, they killed William Stryker, so you can't even do anything about the Sentinels. And they kill off his character, so it's that.
Well, they're doing Trask with Days of Future
Past. Yeah,
and it's just William Stryker still had a lot to do with the Sentinel story, so that sucks. You can't. There's no way you can explore that. You can't give that option because you deleted a character that.
Yeah.
Storyline,
I mean, unless you mess around more with time travel elements in the story.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping they're gonna end up doing with this. Pull the whole time travel element and everything into being fixed.
For somebody who was a driving force for anti-mutant stuff, William Stryker's a huge part of the X-Men storyline. So not having him.
Yeah, but there's so many others that you can call on.
Yeah.
Losing one's not that big of a deal at that point. You could have somebody else fill the shoes. It doesn't really matter.
This is why you need to read new X-Force. It relates to what I'm talking about.
No, I can't. I'll get there.
One character actually I would love to see in this movie though is Phantom X. I love the hell out of Phantom X, man.
Dave, explain it. You brought it up. Explain it to me.
Who is Phantom X?
Yeah, Phantom X. Okay, well, Phantom X is basically he's kind of a mercenary type of character. He uses guns and stuff, but he has kind of this AI computer chip that he has kind of like a mental like link to.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember like what other powers he has. Like he just looks really cool. I want to see him in a movie, you know. But yeah, I mean like he has kind of like this no nonsense like just he doesn't really kind of like give a shit, but he's got like a bit of charm to him because he's French also. Like he's also French, so he's a bit of a smart assy kind of French. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he's just like a really, really cool character, like especially in those X-Force comics, like where you have like him along with Psylocke, Deadpool, you know, Archangel, Wolverine. You know, like that was just like a great like dynamic with all of them together.
Conversations between him, Wolverine, and Archangel are always amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to get those books. I've been meaning to read them because I know they're good. I love the art style. Like they look phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know.
And it's just I like a lot of the stories that they write for, especially for the new X-Force, because they did give it a darker tone, which is what it needed.
Well, and here's the thing, and this is something we were talking about last night. You know, if they're gonna do a villain, you know, how are they gonna do this X-Force team? Are they gonna do the X-Force team like from the '80s? That was more of like the publicity stunt kind of, we're sending an X-Force because there's the good face of the mutants and whatnot, you know, that kind of thing. Are they going to do the X-Force that's like the new X-Force that's like the secret agent team? Let me give you the best possible outcome of this Days of Future Past movie, okay? So they go through the timeline and they're attempting to fix it, right? When they get to the end of it, you think it's all hunky-dory. You know, you think it's all going to be cool or whatever. It ends up being Age of Apocalypse. What's up?
I mean, I think that's just like such a natural progression with it because Apocalypse is kind of a big part of the X-Force storyline and everything, you know? Especially with him like constantly resurrecting and everything always coming back in some form or another. And yeah, I mean, like I think that'd be a great way to introduce Apocalypse, and then he would be a part of like the spin-off with X-Force. You know?
Mutants you got to at the end.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Like, you get to the end with these people, and then it starts this whole other kind of, like, comic book arc. You know, that kind of thing.
And, you have to think, too, because, like, with the Avengers film, they started out with Thanos, technically. Like, they told you
they told you that right
you're like, we're not going to surprise you at all. But that would be it would be the same thing with Apocalypse, because it's kind of like the X-Men get to open up with a huge villain, and that just helps.
Well, and that's one of the things that the X-Men franchise, and most superhero franchises, I really feel like up to this point, you haven't really had that major villain.
Yes. I
mean, they're villains, they're bad, but it's not like it's
galactic kind of levels,
Well, they tried with Galactus, but that was ridiculous.
You mean the smoke monster from Lost?
It was awful.
Yeah. Dude, like, my hopes were here when I went. I was just like, please get this right. And it just, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, with doing, like, a major villain like that, it kind of sets the stage, too, because it's like, you know, Apocalypse isn't necessarily, like, really easy to kill. I mean,
I keep coming back.
Yeah, and it's like
always a threat.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Ultron factor. It's like you can always reinvent his character because technically it's really difficult to dispose of Ultron or like Apocalypse especially. You know, because the X-Men had to deal with him on too many occasions. You know, it's just like there's always some way for him to come back. You know, so that's definitely a good starting character because it's like. You can actually, even if you kill him, you can actually bring his character back.
Yeah.
You know, it's unnecessary, but you could even throw in a Bishop cameo. You know, like small that just like could introduce his character or something because it's like you can't have.
I want to say that Bishop is definitely in Days of Future Past. I'm about 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I would say I'm 90% sure on that. Like I'm very sure he's in there.
I remember they passed.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool because it's like you can't have time travel without Bishop either.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, by the way,
I think it was Forge who was behind like the actual time travel mechanics.
Forge is in Days of Future Past as well, if I'm not mistaken.
That would make sense too, definitely. Two things that I want to bring up. One, I hope that when they do like Sentinel related things for Days of Future Past, I really, really, really hope the fights are very, very like big and huge. And like
long, drawn out.
Because if you watch the cartoon, dude, like those fights weren't like they were like they're massive fights, man.
Yeah.
They're fighting giant robots.
I would love nothing more than like if like the Sentinels were like modeled more closely after like the Pacific Rim, like big robot characters and everything, you know, like just huge monstrosities. They're like, how are we gonna take this thing down? Well, everyone got their mutant powers together and blah blah blah, you know.
Yeah, I think that it's like time, because you know they've already had their chance to use Sentinels and they botched that up with the third one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you need to like pull out all the stops for this.
Yeah.
You don't need to hold back. Like, it's a Sentinel fight. There's no right or wrong way to necessarily just make them fight a Sentinel.
Yeah.
Like, it's just let them fight one.
Well, you know, and another thing, they haven't really ever shown like the team really ever working together
Yeah.
as a team. You know, like an actual team, not just people all using their powers individually or whatever. Like, you know, that's one thing that's always bothered me about the X-Men franchise, is it's never been everybody working together.
It's,
You know,
it's Wolverine, Hugh Jackman.
yeah.
Basically, yeah. I'm gonna do my own shit. See you guys.
Right.
But the other thing I was gonna say is, if they're putting Cable and Deadpool in the same movie, there's one quote I want to hear more than any other thing. Is Body Slide by 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you've done this right.
Just have it like messed up, like it's so terribly, like Deadpool's off on the side, like through cables, like, well, this is awkward.
If you're putting Deadpool in there, hire a funny writer. Don't like get somebody who can write some really funny material. You know, like don't get somebody who's really really funny and can write. Like, because Deadpool, you don't need him to not ever like lose that continuity of being funny in the movie. Like, he has to. They have to come out just like that, because that's the kind of character he is. It's like he says the most random things.
Well, that's why I really think Ryan Reynolds is honestly the best choice for him.
And that's
Yeah,
good.
there's no doubt about
That,
You know.
Ryan Reynolds definitely has a funny dude, but the writer has to be immaculate. Like, he has to be pretty funny.
Reynolds needs a good writer too.
Well, here's the thing. That's another interesting point. Does Deadpool know that he's in a movie?
Yes.
How far are they going to take the whole fourth wall thing if they're going to have Deadpool in this? And no, that is a very good point. I'm sure, you know what, I'm sure like it's going to be touched upon maybe for like one joke kind of thing, just to kind of like appease the Deadpool fans. But I don't think they're going to go like full blown. It's like, man, this is a great movie we're in, you know?
They don't have to. That's the thing. It's not in a movie like that, in a more of a team element. You don't want to overdo it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
A nod at that point is absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
They tried to. What people said, they tried to do that at the end of the X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, that never happened.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, it doesn't even count.
Like, I know, like, you know, with you mentioning about like Age of Apocalypse, like if that was to happen, especially considering that the way that Beast looks in First Class, I love to see a Dark Beast come out of that.
Yeah. Well, I want to see an Archangel.
Yeah.
You know, I desperately want to see an Archangel. I want to see a not girly Cyclops.
Good luck.
Okay. And
Age of Apocalypse Cyclops is kind of a badass.
yeah.
Deadpool, Cable,
Yeah.
Feral.
I mean,
Warpath's definitely in Days of Future Past as well, so that's another X-Force tie.
Yeah.
you're talking about like multiple like gun use and stabbing and slicing, and I mean like everybody else.
Telekinesis too and all that. Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a very like violent film. It's
gonna be a war film. It's essentially gonna be a war film.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, given all the different X-Force teams, they all pretty much did the same thing, regardless of the circumstance. But yeah, they threw down. There's a reason why they were called X-Force. So.
Exactly.
Ross brought up something about who would I pick if I could have, for the movie, who would I pick? And some of my obvious choices, for me anyways, I'd probably put Wolverine in it just because I like Wolverine on X-Force. Like, he's like a team he's meant to be on.
Yeah.
Deadpool, yes. Archangel, yes. Probably Psylocke. I keep throwing this team because Psylocke's
I would definitely put Psylocke on
she's a pretty cool character on there, even without most of her badass powers that she lost.
Yeah.
She's still
pretty
an assassin.
Yeah.
At the very least, like having both Psylocke and Archangel on it, like you can play up that whole like dynamic with the relationship.
Yeah, and I probably for a fifth character, it's like maybe something obscure like
Cannonball or
So, yeah, I mean,
That's,
like nobody real specific, but like an obscure character would kind of, because you already know all the heavy hitter things. Like throw.
I'll say Warpath. Warpath would fit.
Warpath would fit. Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely earned his stripes with X Force. Yeah, Warpath. He's pretty much a badass.
Yeah.